Hello and welcome to SquishiVision, where I have just, well, no, I haven't actually just finished watching it. I watched it about 10 hours ago and then I've just not had time to do this, so hopefully my recollection is fairly accurate. In fact, I might bring up the memory alpha plot synopsis so I can, like, try and remind myself what the crack is. So yeah, this was I mean, start from the top. I really enjoyed this episode. I think it was a very good kind of it resonated with me a lot. So the premise of the episode is they're you know, trying to distill fuel, but their method of doing so is harming a bunch of aliens that they can't detect who live in there. The only way these aliens can communicate is by, like, shooting simple mental thoughts into someone's brain, and then the brain has to like interpret what those thoughts mean. And the other way you can do it is by, like, manifesting hallucinations, like, as in, like, you would portray, like, the idea of, like, your close one you know, your loved one's dying, and then you put it in someone's brain, and then your brain hallucinates a loved one near you being dead. And it's a horror focused episode. It makes sense because she's a comms officer, and it relives a lot of her kind of traumas until she realizes what's causing it, and they stop doing what they're doing. I like the idea of, like, an alien that can, like, communicate that way. I mean, I always freak people out with this, like, whole spiel going about how ultimately none of us can truly trust reality, because really we're not ever seeing reality. We're seeing what our brain comprehends, where our brain, you know, there is a world around us. We have to assume at least that much, of some sort, and it is stimulating our senses, and our brain is constructing what we perceive as the reality based on those senses. But, you know, there's no reason to assume what I'm seeing is what's actually there. But also, I mean, what does that matter? Because if the reality is what we construct in our brain, then what actually is there isn't really particularly important, kind of thing. And also, like, as long as we can communicate with some of the people, like, it's a whole colour thing about how, well, is my blue your blue? Well, it doesn't matter because we both know that this thing is blue. So what does it matter if it's the same? I mean, that's a distinction without difference, really. This episode really plays my kind of deep dive mind kind of spasm there, I guess. I think this episode really does a good job portraying psychosis as a symptom. I read about psychosis recently. I think this episode really does, like, good, respectable. I mean, I know it's not what's happening. Well, I guess it is what's happening with her. Her brain is manifesting these signals as a form of psychosis, and I think this episode does a really good job of portraying that. I know it's not ultimately, you know, a mental illness. Well, it's more mental injury, but it is, you know, I mean, mental health can be affected by environmental stimuli, so that is very much what's happening here. So I did like that. Paul Wellesley as Kirk. I was less distracted by him in this episode, but I still don't know if I really, my mind connect him with Shatner's Kirk or not. But I guess it's, I don't know. People are like, well, technically this is the first extended bit we've seen of him as Prime Kirk. I'd forgotten. I thought we saw him as Prime Kirk at the end of season 1, but actually no, we don't. The only Kirk we've seen in episodes only ever alternate universe Kirk. And obviously we do see Prime Kirk at the end of earlier in the season, but that's, like, on a view screen very briefly. I didn't find myself that distracted, but maybe, I don't know if that necessarily means I have connected him with the character of Kirk completely yet. That being said, I did love that we get to see on screen the first ever meeting of Kirk and Spock, and it was a mutual, you know, dislike of his brother, and that was funny. No, it was done well. It was underplayed. They could have gone, like, really, like, hammy on it, but it was like, no, that's a natural moment for them to meet. I like that. I'm slowly feeling very nauseous, and that's maybe because I've had a shower and it's making all my food come up, so I don't know what you've here, but I know that, but just what to say. I think it was a really well produced episode. I think, you know, what's her name? I mean, obviously she's been in the show for a while now, but Celia Rose Gooding did a really good job of being her in this scene, and this of you know, of in this episode, having a horror focus episode. I don't get the ranks. What's she got on her arm? She's got nothing, right? It's bothering me. As someone who's a stickler for rank insignia, in real life and fictional, it's really bothering me. So Spock, and Union Singh, and Ortega, I think, are meant to be lieutenants. And lieutenant rank slide in Star Trek is a thick, solid braid. Liver braid in half, which is meant to be lieutenant commander, and Chin Riley has 2 solid braids, which is meant to be full commander. But Kirk is lieutenant, and he has 1 solid braid, and it's more. It is even more obvious when Kirk and Spock shake hands, and you see they have different rank slides, but they're both referred to as lieutenant. I don't know. I'm trying to Google it. It's really bothering me now. Like, Star Trek has a history of doing rank insignia like poorly, like making mistakes. Sure, fine, whatever. But usually it's like one character they get wrong, or like, you know, they don't think about. It's not usually consistent across the whole board. And like even confusingly, the captain rank slide is correct, I think. Well, it doesn't make sense because the captain rank slide is the captain rank slide. That's correct. So I don't know. It's confusing. That's just. Well, I don't want to nitpick. It's fairly significant. Hema was a good kind of inclusion in this episode. I like that they brought her back for this, even though I think they fridged him too early. Oh, it's not fridging because he's a male character, but you know what I mean. He's still a disabled character. It's the equivalent of that. I mean, Kirk was generally good in this episode in terms of like being a comforting presence and like generally caring. Yeah, no, I mean that's a pretty good episode. Nothing, it was pretty simple. And apparently they released the next episode really early, so I guess I'm going to do another reaction to that later today when everybody's watching that. Okay, I'm going to end it here because I need to record like my reactions to Mission Impossible, Barbie, Oppenheimer, and then edit my Spider-Verse Barbie, Oppenheimer, Mission Impossible reviews. So we're going to go do that. So cheers for watching, and I will catch you all later. Bye.